Hello, everybody. Back here again for a vlog a day. And today it's Wednesday, the 7th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Had some rain, had some heavy rain at one point, had some winds and stuff. We got the hurricane kind of kicking off our west coast, and we're getting a little bit of feeder bands, I think, hitting every once in a while. Mostly for us, it's staying north of us and whatnot, so it's not been too bad. Just been, it seems like every mosquito that's running from the hurricane is in my backyard right now. That's probably the biggest problem I have right now is the fact that mosquitoes are just straight up murder. Like they're insane. So, but got this morning fairly early, earlier than I wanted to. The dogs, I don't know if it's the second one of us wrestle in the bed, they start barking and go stupid or what, but they just like, I don't know if there's an outside neighbor noise or who knows what, but man, they're awful, absolutely awful. So I yell at them a little bit, usually get them to lay back down for a little while, and then the second time they get riled up and they start barking and yelling stuff, I take them outside because they're just going to continue. So headed outside with the dogs, got them out there, did my best to keep them quiet in the yard, which the neighbor came over towards the fence, and of course dogs are barking at him. And I was like, I finally yelled at the neighbor, I'm like, just get the fuck away from my fence. Like, you're the reason the dogs are barking. Like, you're here talking to my dogs. It's, 5-something in the morning. Get the hell out of here. I know you're awake, and guess what? I'm awake, but my bride right next to this door, right on this side of this window right here is not, so move away, So I was like, what the hell? So we had that whole conversation with that whole process, but it is what it is. So hung out in the hot tub for a little bit, just trying to keep my body stretched out. It's how it seems to work better to start my day in the hot tub and let my body loosen up a little bit in the process. Ended up getting a couple things done, nothing major, just simple little stuff. I had a couple plant things that I do today. Had to go over and do a meet and greet / pick up a key for a cat that I'm going to be feeding starting Friday. I think it's Friday. I gotta go there and then through like Wednesday or something. So I went ahead and went over and met with them. Super nice lady. Met the cat. The cat's a big fat lardo. Super friendly. Let me pet him because usually doesn't let people pet him too much and da da da. And I was like, yeah, cool. And she goes, if he's whining for around, there's food in the bowl and he's over there crying and whining and stuff, he wants you to pet him while he eats. And in my head, I thought, yeah, that cat kind of started death. I'm not going to sit here and watch this cat eat as I pet it. So I don't know how well it's going to go, but we'll see. Yeah, should be fun. But got the key, got the location. It just sucks. It's like a 16, 19 minute drive, depending on what the hell it is over there. So now I'm looking at 40 minutes round trip just for that alone, not counting the, even if it only takes me 10 minutes there with the cat, it's still, that's an hour, I'm looking at 20 minutes probably with the cat. So I'm looking at an hour, and it is what it is. So, oh well. It's one of the things that sucks because they're like 3 miles away. By the time you go up north, across the causeway, and come back down, and it's a pain that took us. So, went ahead though, got that. I decided to do it, so I'll do it. So when I left her place there, I had the truck. I actually decided to drive over and check out what the ocean looked like with the hurricane on the other coast. And the ocean was fairly calm, truthfully. I went ahead and drove on the beach. I got the beach pass. So I was pulling stuff and drove from there up north until I got back off basically I drove up on the beach to get away from the whole traffic thing and stuff, and got checked out, and it was overcasty and not bad, but we did have a handful of people on the beach, a lot of tourists and stuff. It looked like some locals, some beach driving and whatnot going on, and then a lot of people out in front of the condos that you could tell were definitely out there, because they all have the same matching chairs and stuff and whatnot. So I went ahead and got that done. Got off the beach, headed back over to the house, hung out with the dogs for a while, chilled out with them, let them play outside, had ourselves a good time, tried to get them more out, because I had to also run up to Ormond today to pick up my father-in-law so I could take him to the dentist. And I don't know, he needs to move his dentist appointments to a little more local office, because I don't know, maybe they can't because it's the ones that actually be the dentures, I don't know. So I basically went ahead, got the dogs taken care of, got them, I played fetch a lot with the one, so she got wore out pretty good. And the time frame where I was going to be up there with him was going to be right about time. I don't know if I'd make it back, depending on how long the appointment took, to make it back to give back one of the dogs, Beacon. And I talked to the owner yesterday and sent her stuff, a little bit hanging, let her know stuff. And today I told her, I said, hey, if you want, she goes, I can meet you up there. I'm going to have the dog with me. I basically said, before you come get your dog, please text me and let me know, because I'm going to take him with me to Ormond. And then I've got my father-in-law at the dentist. We're going back down to the Volusia County Mall, and then we're going back up to Ormond. We're done. And she goes, okay, I'm actually working up there, so I will text you as soon as I get off work, and then we can see if we pick up. I said, that'll worked great. So I went ahead and took the dog with me, grabbed his dog bed and his toys and his food and whatever stuff. Got it all packed up. He went with me last time. Went up there, checked on him yesterday to see if he was dead. So drove up there, had the dog mate. Everything's great. I did not take my Great Dane, which I usually would have done. But when I got done with the father-in-law, I was hoping if I could drop the dog off, I could then hit Sam's Club up on the way back, and I wouldn't have to leave my dog in the truck or whatever, because it's hot enough now, especially in the middle of the day. There's no way I can leave my dog outside. So I couldn't go into Sam's. So went ahead and is what is the truck. I don't trust the AC on it all the time. It idles. It works 85% of the time, but 15% of the time it doesn't. And I can't have my dog dying because 15% of the time the AC didn't work right. So went ahead though, got down at the dentist and stuff. It took all of about 3 minutes. I don't know what the hell he did. And the best part was I picked my father-in-law up. I texted him and said, hey, I'm heading up here, yada yada. He gets there and stuff, and I basically texted him like, hey, I'm here, nothing. So I'm like waiting for him, like, what the hell? So I had to go up and knock on the door, and he's like, oh, he goes, wait. I was like, yes, I'm here to get you. Like, we gotta go. Like, what the hell? Come on, man. Like, I hate being late for shit all the time. It drives me nuts. So he basically gets in the truck, and of course he's like just finished up, and he's on to play with the dog. Like, anytime I have a dog there, he wants to like pet the dog, and I'm like, put your seatbelt on and then pet the dog on the drive over to wherever the hell we're going. But put your seatbelt on. Get in the truck. Get the door shut. Get the seatbelt on. Let's go. Come on. You can pet the dog and play with the dog all while we're driving where we're going. And it's funny, so stuff, and he'll play with the dog. Then basically he plays the dog for, I don't know, 2 minutes. And I'm like, put your seatbelt on stuff. And he's like, okay. And then he doesn't want to play the dog anymore. Like, get in the back. Get in the back. And I'm like, you could have put this. Yeah, it is what it is. So we take off. We get over there and stuff. And as we're pulling into the back of the mall where the dentist office is, phone rings, he's doing stuff, and it's like ringing like the fourth time. He goes, oh, he goes, I think that's mine. I'm like, well, it sure ain't mine. And he goes, oh, okay. So he pulls his phone out and answers it, and he's saying stuff, and I only hear one side because he doesn't put it on speakerphone and stuff, whatever. And I'm getting this going, it sounds like he missed another appointment. Like he didn't go to the doctor's appointment he's supposed to. I don't know if it was maybe, I couldn't tell if it's like a friend who wanted to go play, wanted to go to dinner. I don't know if it was, who knows what, who the hell knows. So I'm like, okay. So he goes, okay, well, maybe if we can schedule, I'm actually at an appointment, I'm on my way to an appointment right now, and I got a dentist appointment right now at the same time, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, like, whatever. And then he goes, okay, well, how about just call and leave me a message, because I'm on my way to my other appointment, and I got to go right now, and then just leave a message of when the new appointment's going to be. And he gets out of the car, and he's still on the phone. I'm sitting there like, he's just saying, we're blocking traffic at this point. Like, I'm right by the front gate thing there to drive off. And I'm like, get out of the truck. Like, he's like, oh, I got to go. Just call me back and leave a message. And I was like, okay, so he gets out. I'm like, I wonder what that was about. So he's in there. I go sit over in the grass, get the dog out. We're walking around a little bit and stuff, having ourselves a good time, listening to some podcasts and whatnot, and lit up a cigar, just enjoying myself out here in blazing hot sun. There's no shade, because with time of day, it's just, even though the trees are there, there's no shade underneath them because the sun's not wrong outside at the moment. So he comes out 3 minutes, maybe 3.5 minutes later, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't get a chance to like sit down and rest, because I was like getting the chair out. I didn't get the chair out, got the chair set down. I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on here? And I basically hard out to him, like, his, of course, parked in the same spot now. It's like 5 times here, and I park in the same spot and tell him every time where I'm going to park and stuff. Still can't find it. Walks out, looks around, has like no idea, stands there. And like, apparently his theory is like, I'll just stand here and somebody will come rescue me. It's full on Mr. Magoo, but instead of being blind, it's just dumbness. I'm just like, I'll just stand here and do nothing, which is how he got his car stolen, because some other kids walked up and said, hey, you need some help? He goes, yeah. And they said, give me your keys, I'll show you a trick, and then ran off with his car. So it's a yay world. So he gets on stuff to the point I actually yelled at him. I'm like, I would put my chairs away and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? And he goes, I said, are you done? He goes, oh yeah, I'm done. And I'm like, what? On the way over there, he goes, yeah, I hadn't had my teeth in and stuff because they were hurting and stuff, blah, blah. This morning I put them in, and they felt just fine. And I'm like, then why are we here? Why are we on our way here? He goes, well, we had an appointment. I'm like, yes, because your dentures hurt. If you put them in this morning and they did not hurt. And he goes, well, I didn't leave them in. I'm like, why not leave them in? If they don't hurt, why not leave them in? He goes, well, I didn't think I was supposed to put them in. I said, no, that was weeks ago. Like, you're supposed to have your dentures in, and this is what you have. And I'm like, why are we here? And he goes, well, I don't know. I go, did they do anything? He goes, oh, yeah, they had to adjust them. And I'm like, they couldn't have done much. He goes, well, they put a file on it or something. I'm like, they put a file on it or something. So I'm like, okay. So he's got dentures and stuff. He has his dentures in his mouth. I'm like, okay, cool, blah, 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 no big deal. And I'm like, so they fit and good. He goes, oh, everything. And as we're trying to talk, he literally, like, his dentures, like, start to fall in his mouth. And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, oh, and then he, like, just starts, like, he spits them out. I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? Like, this is my truck. Like, you can't just be spitting your damn teeth out on your lap in here. This is really gross, and what the hell's happening? And he's like, oh, yeah, I gotta go home and get some Fix-A-Dent, da-da-da. I'm like, first off, why wouldn't the dentist office, you just paid over $10,000 for these damn teeth, why wouldn't they have some Fix-A-Dent? Also, I didn't think you had to have Fix-A-Dent in your teeth at all damn times. And I said, okay, whatever. Also, he has an appointment coming up on the 22nd. I think he has an appointment 22nd. And I'm like, okay, ask him what's that appointment for, and can you just do that visit today? Because right now, why not? Like, what do we have to come back for? And he goes, no, because I can't do that appointment. I said, why not? He goes, something about they got to put a rubber plate in there or something. I'm like, oh, you got to be shitting me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Now he has to go home, get Fix-A-Dent so he can put his teeth in, and da-da-da. So he chucks his teeth back out his mouth and stuff. And then we're talking a little bit going home. I said, what was the phone call about the missed appointment stuff? He goes, oh, yeah, I was supposed to see my neurologist today. I'm like, today? And he goes, yeah. I said, when? He goes, I go, what time? He goes, oh, 3 o'clock. I said, well, it's now 2:58. Where's their office? Maybe we can call them back and say, hey, we got out of the dentist immediately, can we just get this done? Because they already have you on schedule, And I think this is the second time he's missed that damn appointment now. So I'm like, what the hell? Why didn't we hear about this? Why didn't we know about it? He goes, well, I don't know what. I said, well, call them right now. Call them. He goes, I'm not even sure where the doctor's at. And I'm like, call them and ask him. He's like, I don't know the password of my phone. I'm like, he goes, I wait till I get home. I'm like, why? He goes, I don't know the password of my phone. I'm like, you don't know how to work your phone? And then he got all indignant. He goes, I know how to work my phone. And I'm like, you just said you didn't have the password to your phone. Like, what the hell? So apparently he can answer it, but he can't dial out. I don't know what the hell. I'm like, son of a bitch. So yeah. So I'm like, you do realize by making this reschedule, you could have put these together. He goes, well, if they're both the same time, it wouldn't work. I said, well, the neurologist is more important because you just told me this morning your teeth worked fine. Also, the dentist could have pushed up 10 minutes. The neurologist could have pushed back 10 minutes, I'm sure, and or vice versa. We could have figured it out, whatever, and got it done. And sure enough, we would have been perfectly fine because you were in the dentist's office for literally 3.5 minutes. So at the most, you're in the 3.5 minutes. So there's no way we could have got in and out of here, and it could have came a little bit early, could have whatever and stuff, could have waited the lobby for an hour and something like this ridiculous. So you know how much time my day it takes to change everything and have to drive way up here and stuff? It's 45 minutes to his house. 45 minutes back. That's an hour and a half right there. It's another 15 minutes at least, probably a little bit more than that, from his house to the dentist's office. Actually, yeah, it's probably a little more than that. But let's just say, because I always get there early, so that's another 45 minutes round trip, minimum. So now I'm looking at 2 hours and 15 minutes, bare minimum of actual drive time. Plus, I like to be early to things, so I'm giving it 3 hours of my life. So you can go spend 3.5 minutes in a dentist's office. That includes walking the door. Like, you got out of my truck and 3.5 minutes later you were walking out to my truck. So how does it make sense? Now I got to try and do the whole damn thing over again with this neurologist bullshit where I could have done it today and not had to make the whole 3-hour drive back up and forth and whatever and whatnot. So yeah, I was like, that's a pain in my ass. He goes, oh, what am I going to do? And I'm like, keep your appointments? That would be a way to do it. So I have that whole wonderful stress of whatever and stuff. So we go back to his place and we're da-da-da, and he can't figure out how to work his phone. He can't figure out how to make the appointment and stuff. Get back to his house and he's like, okay, and he's all mad and pouty because I basically said, like, you're screwing up my life here, man. So I get out of the truck, I grab the medication out of the back, which Karen fills up his weekly pill bottles and stuff, like little dispensers, and I swapped it out, which it didn't need to be refilled till Saturday, but I was like, well, I'm up here, it's Wednesday, I'll go ahead and just swap it out, I'll fill it up, and that way if for some reason we can't get up here again this weekend, we'll at least have it until next Wednesday, because my theory is always keep a new one. I tell her as soon as you get home, fill it up at the house, and then if I ever go for whatever reasons, like yesterday, had to drive up here just to basically make sure he did not die and us not know it, I could have easily swapped it out. That day I didn't think about it because I was just in a hurry. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go see if he's dead or not. So I just basically dropped it and ran up there real quick. So then he's like, well, I can take care of my own medication. I said, yeah, you can take care of most medication, but you can't your morphine and stuff. Well, what the hell can I? He goes, who says I can't? I said, your doctor who prescribes your morphine. Well, what are you doing? I said, you remember when we went to the doctor and the doctor said, hey, this guy's been abusing his morphine and he's lying about it and he's basically acting like a drug addict and he's basically taking care of stuff. And he said, oh, I'm going to remove his morphine prescription because he doesn't know how to play by the rules. He doesn't know how to treat things correctly and he's going to kill himself, with this crap. And he said he's going to pull it. And I said, well, hey, I'm willing to be responsible for his morphine where he'll not have more than a week's worth of supply at any one point, and we'll randomly check throughout the week to make sure he does not take more than he's supposed to, but he's going to have at least a week's worth of supply at all times there, and then basically we can move on and this stuff. And he agreed with that situation that then I would be allowed, or you'd be allowed to keep your morphine. Well, I guess I do remember that. And I'm like, how did you forget this shit? Like, this was a giant thing in our life here. Like, literally, this was months of our life dealing with this crap. And how do you not remember this shit? So then he's all pouty and mad and stuff because, like, I have to go in and fill his morphine out. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to know if they can be trusted again? How am I supposed? I said, because, when he tells me, I'll tell you, I said, until then, you don't get to have access to your morphine, just because, guess what? That's how life works. So it is what it is. So yeah, so he got all pouty about that, so it's even be more of a pain in the butt. Still don't know what time the next appointment is for the neurologist and stuff. Don't have a clue what's going on with it. So I get these pills all done, anything else I need. He goes, no, you can go now. And I'm like, don't be a dickhead to me. Just come on, man. I'm doing this shit for you, not to you. And I happily will call that doctor and go, yeah, I don't want the responsibility of dealing with morphine anymore. Please remove it and give me some ibuprofen. See how well he likes it. And see how quickly you get pissy about your life. So, yes, we're in that process right there. So I head back out. I text the lady saying, hey, done at the dentist office and stuff. We're done early and thing. Where can I meet you if you're off work and stuff? She goes, hey, no problem. I'm off work. I can meet you at the International Speedway in about 15 minutes. I said, actually, I'm already back up here. I don't know where you're at now, but I'm already up in Ormond. I'm not there. I can drive back there if that'd be easier for you. And she goes, no, I just came from such and such, the Advent Health and stuff. And I said, okay, I'm actually really close to there if you want to meet at Advent Health. And she goes, absolutely. So she turned around, went back, we met. Had a little bit of phone tag trying to find where she was in the parking lot and whatnot. Got that all done. Gave her back her dog. Dog was super happy. She just jumped right in the truck. He's like, we're going to the truck. He loves his car rides. Loves car rides. So he tucked his bed in there and stuff. Gave her back her food and stuff. She was excited to know everything went well. I hadn't watched the dog in like 2 years. And she goes, you watch him again? I said, absolutely. I have no problem at all. He's a little loud, but other than that, great dog. Not a problem at all with the whole thing. So she was excited with it. Went ahead from there, headed on back home, finished my cigar that I started at the dentist office, which was only 3.5 minutes in when he came back out of there. So got back to the house, of course, got the dogs out, played with them, got them all out there and stuff, and they were confused, like, where you took a dog with you? Where's this dog going to come back? Especially Bruce was like, hey, didn't you have one? I'm like, yep, lost it, left it in the woods somewhere. I always wonder what he thinks, what happens when I don't bring back dogs I take out of there. So I had a good chuckle with it. Ended up also on the way back after I got up to the dog off, I stopped by Sam's Club, and it poured down rain between dropping the dog off on the way to Sam's. Like, it poured down bad. It was like I felt scared driving at like 40 mile an hour on the ride roads. I was like, somebody's gonna kill me, because they're literally, I had the wipers full blast. I had trouble seeing stuff. Get to Sam's, and it was just lightly raining. Kind of the big feeder band went through, so I was like not heavy torrential downpour. So I went to Sam's, got everything I needed except for Mountain Dew. They didn't have any Mountain Dew, which is actually a lot they didn't have. Then there's a ton of stuff they don't carry anymore. But they were out of Mountain Dew, including for myself and for the vending machines both. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I want Mountain Dew. So we have that whole concept. So I get back, got everything done, got all loaded back up, head back home. I also grabbed myself a rotisserie chicken, which I've never grabbed from a Costco or a Sam's and stuff. I grabbed a rotisserie chicken, brought it back home. It was late enough in that weird time of day that I was like, okay, it won't be able to still be hot when I get home. But I went ahead and I got back, chucked it in the oven so the dogs can't get to it. Went outside, played with the dogs and stuff. Decided to go for my run, took off, got my run in. Karen texted she's on her way home from work. When I got back from home, when I got my run, she was home. And I said, don't look in the kitchen, because I already know. Everyone's like kind of surprised we're going to have. So I chucked the roasted rotisserie chicken in the oven, warmed it back up while I showered. We talked about her dad. We had a lot of venting. And in the process of telling her about her dad and the talking about just the stress that I started getting lightheaded and dizzy, which is one of the things I used to have, is naturally medicated syncope. It's a stress-induced type thing, has in life, some other crap goes on and stuff. And I literally started getting really dizzy and stuff, started losing sight, like things started getting dark, like as if I can't see. Great. Stress is a beautiful thing. So I went ahead and I was like, great, this is wonderful, yada yada. Got that all taken care of and stuff. From there, I got my shower, so we were talking stuff. I'm like, I gotta get this out. I hate to do it to you, but I gotta get it out, finish stuff. So I basically complained about him and that stuff. Got my shower, got out, chucked in some vegetables in the microwave, had some potato salad left over, ate that chicken, ate the vegetables, had herself a great meal, watched some TV. I headed outside to have a cigar and play with the dogs and stuff this evening, and took out my Thermacell, which is the little mosquito repellent thing. That thing is amazing. I don't know why I waited so long. I'm just such a cheapskate. I hate wasting money on those, but I got them, so I need to use them. So, but yeah, overall day was great. Still got a massive headache. It's like right behind my eyebrow. It just feels like I got a knife inside my damn head, and it really, really sucks. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.